Hello peeps, it's Hillbilly Halfwit. Bit of a different video for you today. If you look in the background, this is called Pont-ar-elan Bridge down the bottom there. Down there. And you see this in a lot of videos. It's very windy, but hopefully this microphone will work today. You'll see this area in a lot of people's photographs. I think Jeff Buys Cars had it the other day. This is local to me. This is not far from me, and I travel by this to go and see my sheep. And I know so much about this, lots of local history. Now, if you look up that valley up there, some of my relatives live up there, and if you notice, the water goes back and forward and all the way up there. It meanders its way up there through a river. And many years ago, when I was a nipper, I used to come here and help put up a show called Pont-ar-elan Show. And it's moved from here now, but if you look down the bottom there where I'm pointing, that's called Pont-ar-elan Bridge there. And this is a zigzag road up here. They call it the zigzag. And there used to be a show here all the time called Pont-ar-elan Show. And I used to go and help them put it up with my grandfather and my uncle and my cousins and things. And the locals, yeah. And it went on for years and years. I used to be very good at hand shearing with a thing like a scissors. Because my dad was very good at it, and we used to go around, as a young lad, I used to go around all the shearing with the hand shears, my grandfather and my dad, and that was only 30 years ago, really. That was one thing I was very good at. I won a few shearing competitions here, to be honest, but I don't do it now, only at home. But anyway, what I wanted to show you here was, if you look up there, you see a lot of people don't really know that when this show was on, it was very, very popular here, and they used to have a horse race. So from this bridge down here, they used to ride up this side here where the road is. So they'd ride all the way up the road here, just below the road, all the way up, not far off that farm up the top there. And then they'd come down and they'd cross the river and all the way back here. So they'd cross the river 5, 6, 7 times on the way back. I can't remember if they did on the way up. I think they did, but certainly on the way back. They used to cross the river where you can see it zigzagging across, through the bogs, all the way back down to the bottom here. And the finish line was just there where you see that pool. And it was hellish hard going. I mean, full on. There was none of this helmets or anything like that. It was flat caps and just stick on. My uncle won it a few times. Some of my mum and my uncle, my aunties, and did it. And my cousin did it, Cherie. She's about my age now. She's a couple of years younger than me. She was the last one I know did it, on a horse called Honey, I think, if I remember correctly. Fair play to her. I think her husband watches these videos. Say hello from me, because fair play to her. That took some balls to do that. I remember the day she did it. But health and safety stopped all that. I think that was possibly the last time I came here, because health and safety stopped that. And then another thing they used to do, if you look at that bridge there again, they used to run a hill race. You'd go down below here, all across that bog there, right to the top of that hill. Right up there, straight up that hill. And then they turn around and run back down here. It doesn't look very far, but I tell you what, that's a long way. And where I'm pointing up there, it was lit straight up that hill. I used to go and help them put the sign up there when I was a nipper. So it's as much as you can do to walk up there. It's vertical. It's absolutely vertical. That's another one. That was stopped for health and safety. Modern world bollocks again. Now, in that field there, they used to have all the sports and things. And they used to have horse races there sometimes. But they used to have a football match there, a rugby match. They used to have to pace out 100 metre. You have to guess where 100 meters was. And I used to help putting that up the night before. And me and my cousin used to walk it all out beforehand. So it was a good tactic. Not anybody knew about that. So But remember up there, they had a football match one year, and I was probably in my early teens. And it was one of them things where just things happened. And lots of drunk people around there, because they used to have a bar here and everything. And it started off as a football match, but then turned into rugby. And there ended up about 50 people on the pitch. And there was a very famous chap here, my uncle Bonnie and a bloke called Abram. They used to, oh, they were characters, fair play. And Bonnie, sorry, not my uncle Bonnie, Abram was in goal. And the goal posts were 2 stakes. So he pulled these stakes out and he got them right by the side of his legs. So he'd made the goal so small, he could only just stand between the stakes. And the other side still scored. One of them picked the ball up and it turned into rugby. And it was like a mass brawl. Oh, it was so funny. Absolutely brilliant. Had some really good times here, I tell you. Really good times. Anyway, it still happens now, but not here, because the Welsh Water Board stopped it because of health and safety reasons. Because of, I'm not sure, was it because they disturbed the bugs or something? Wankers. But there's a lot of history in this place nobody knows about. Nobody knows about it. All gone because of the modern world full of the health and safety wankers. Also up there, many years ago, this is when I was a nipper, a load of jippos and hippies come here. They were there for about a month. And all that flat there was covered in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gypsy caravans and things like that, where they were on mushrooms and everything. I remember coming up here when I was a kid with my mum. One of the first things I remember when we went to try and get my uncle from there. Because my uncle Bonnie and Abram had been drinking with him in Radar, and they ended up there. They were stuck there for a couple of days drinking. So I always remember that. He wasn't into drugs or anything like that, by the way. It was just they liked their ale. So lots and lots of fun had here as a nipper. And to look at it now, you wouldn't think nothing happened. Also, another thing, my Uncle Bonnie, they used to do a drag hunt here, which basically is they'd have an old carcass or an old bit of a fox or something, and they'd drag that behind a horse up over these hills, right around, everywhere around here, right around there. You go for miles, and everybody could see it, and they'd loose the hounds out then after the trail. And the good thing about this place here was they could see it all. You could see the hounds going for miles around. It would go for a hell of a long way, like. And they stopped that, of course. As usual, country life just gets stopped, doesn't it? But to look at this place, you wouldn't know none of that, would you? Unless you were a local guy. Now, it still goes on now, and lots of people I know keep it going, but it's not allowed here anymore. They moved it to it goes to a local farm, I know. It's nice of them to let them carry on there, but it was horrible that they stopped them having it here, personally. I haven't been myself for a few years because, I don't know, when my grandfather passed away, I just didn't tend to go to the shows because I used to go with him, you know. It's a bit weird, I know, but I should make a point of starting to go to him, but when my grandfather passed away, I just stopped going to him somehow. But if you carry on up there, a couple of miles, there's a couple of farms further up, and then you go to the source of the Elan then. So all your water from Birmingham came from up here, all from up here, and it goes down, and this is the top of the dam here. So hope you've enjoyed my little thing. You can't have political stuff or machinery vids all the time, so I thought you might like this. So please comment, rate and subscribe. I know it's windy, but I don't know if it's going to do anything, okay? Ta-da.